Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ryan, and for now I'm the immature dad. Later on, that may be changing now. So today, well, one, I'm back. I guess. Can we call it back? Was I ever really here? Like I did a couple of it. Never mind. That doesn't matter. We're doing a video today, and today it's going to be about virtualization. Today will just be about the basics. We're going to go through installing it, what it is, and why you would want to use it. I did a video on ESXi or XE, which is a hypervisor, which is a bare metal hypervisor. And I got a lot of questions and comments saying that people liked the video, but they didn't really understand it. And I think one of the reasons for that was because they didn't understand the basics behind it, behind virtualization. And so I wanted to do a video kind of explaining that a little bit. So usually what I would do, or what you need to do, is you need to understand kind of like the components of a computer, because you need to know what the difference between storage and memory is, or what RAM does, which is memory, or what a hard drive does, which is storage. You need to understand what a processor does, or you should know like how these things work as far as your computer goes. And I may be doing this kind of backwards, but I'm actually going to show you what these things do using VirtualBox. So we won't actually get to that part today because I just want to do a quick, introduction. You guys can get your feet wet. We'll do a quick lab. But first, let's go ahead and let's download VirtualBox. Or before you download VirtualBox, let's do this. Let's explain what is virtualization. And the best way for me to explain it is to look at it this way. So you may live in a single family house, right? There's one family in that single family house. Well, think of your computer that in that regard. So your computer is a single family house and you're the family that lives in there. But imagine if you live in an apartment complex and your computer is that apartment complex. You have multiple people in multiple families who live in that one apartment. So everyone calls that one complex home. And that's pretty much the same thing with virtualization. You get VirtualBox, which sits inside your home, and there's multiple computers or multiple operating systems inside. These are known as guest operating systems. Your main computer is known as a host operating system. And so, and I may have explained that kind of backwards. Let me know if you guys didn't really get that, if it didn't really click. But hopefully you get it like once we start going. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And so this is just a regular computer. This is a desktop that I have. Nothing special. It has Windows on it, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to download VirtualBox, which is totally and completely free, which is really awesome. So let's go ahead and go to Google. And exit out of that, ignore that. And we're going to look up Oracle VirtualBox. And I actually spelled that whole thing wrong. VirtualBox is one word. But here it is. The website is www.virtualbox.org. I will put that in the description. And I have done a video on this before. It's probably one of my older videos that no one ever looked at. So I just wanted to go ahead and do it again just so you guys have something to start with and because I'm going to turn this into like a series. So let's go into Oracle VM VirtualBox. And the coolest thing about this is it doesn't matter what version of Windows you have or Linux or even Apple OS X. You can run this. It's a software. This is a software. You can run this on any computer. And I guess what is a software? A software is an application. So like if you look at your phone, you have your Safari browser if you're on Apple, and you have your Google browser if you're on Android. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. But you also have, let's say you want to go on YouTube. You can open your browser and go to www.youtube.com, or you can download the application, which is the software for your phone. And then it's a client. It's just that one thing. It's stationary. So you have the YouTube app on your phone. You just click that and go right into it. Don't have to worry about clicking youtube.com. It's the same premise here. VirtualBox is an application that sits on your computer. You do not have to go search for it every single time you want to use it. So we're here. And if you look here, you click download. You don't even have to do that actually. You notice it's right here on the main screen. Download VirtualBox 6.1. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to click that. And actually you do need to click downloads. Sorry. So we're going to click that, and you're going to choose your host. So if you're on Apple, you're going to choose OS X. If you're on Linux, you're going to choose Linux. And if you're on Windows, which is what we're on right now, you're going to choose Windows. I will do this for an Apple computer as well. It's the exact same thing, but I actually did get a request for Apple, so we'll do that later. So let's go ahead, Windows, download. Okay, so it's downloaded. So now we're going to go ahead, we're going to click that. And you should see an installer. And you can just go next. You can leave all this as is. The defaults will work perfectly for you. You don't have to change anything, nothing special. Leave it as is. I'm gonna go next. Leave all this as it is. Next. Yes. Install. Alright, and finish, and it'll launch. So while we do that, let's go ahead and close that. And this is VirtualBox. And so now what you'll notice is that it actually already has some of my virtual machines there. And that is because I have done a VirtualBox before. I installed it so you guys could see how to install it, but it kept everything for me, which is cool. So you go in there, and these are all different computers. So you have XE, you have Ubuntu, which are both Linux. XE is a hypervisor. Look at my other video if you want to know more about XE and how it works. And I'll explain the differences between these two. So XE is a hypervisor that is also your operating system. You probably want to know, what is your operating system maybe? Your operating system is this. It's Windows. It's Apple OS X. It's Linux. That is your host operating system. That is where everything is done. So now imagine if I had 4 Windows machines here. These could be 4 different computers. XE is an operating system, but that is the only operating system. It's like having VirtualBox, but it installs the virtual machines directly on there. So you don't need another operating system. With VirtualBox, it's the opposite. Like I said, it is a software. So this software runs on your computer. You have to have an operating system installed in order to run VirtualBox. And what that means is it uses up your resources, like your RAM or memory, and your hard drive space or storage, and your processor. That's the bad part about VirtualBox, but it's also very easy to run. So let's look on my host machine and see how much space and storage and everything I have. So you look here, installed RAM, and this is an odd number for this. I have 20 gigs of RAM on this machine, okay? Then if you go here and type in storage, I have 953 gigs on this machine. It's around a terabyte. So that's a lot of storage, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in VirtualBox, and we are gonna create a virtual machine. All right, so we're going to click new, and we'll name this one, let's see, Linux, and we'll see what I have. So we are going to put in a Linux operating system. Most of my Linux you know what, let's check that first and see what I have. So we're going to go downloads, and so to do this, you need an ISO. You can find a free Linux ISO anywhere. ISOs are pretty much snapshots of operating systems. That's how you install them. So we're gonna go here and see, like these are all disk images. So I have Debian, I have Ubuntu, I'm pretty sure I have XE somewhere, I have Parrot, I have Kali. You know what, we will do a Kali box, okay? So let's go back here. We're gonna go Kali Linux. Kali Linux is a security Linux distribution, all right? We're gonna choose Debian 64-bit because Linux, or Kali Linux, is based off of Debian. We're gonna go next. How much RAM are we gonna get it? So this RAM is gonna take from the RAM on my host machine. So look at it like this. So I have 20 gigs of RAM. I'm going to give this box 4 gigs of RAM. There's 1,024 megabytes in 1 gig of RAM. So we're gonna give this one 4,096 megabytes of RAM, okay? We're gonna go next. Next, it wants to know about the hard disk or your hard drive space or your storage space. We're going to do create. You choose VDI. Leave it dynamically allotted. You can do a fixed size, but then once you do that, you don't get any extra space. It takes the space right away. Nothing you can do about it. Even though you can't really add space once you create the virtual machine anyway. But what this does is it doesn't exactly take up the space until it's needed. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this to 50. Okay? And remember, storage 953. So if I give this 50 gigs of storage space, my host storage space will go down to 903. Okay? We're going to go create. Next, right click, and we're going to go settings. Okay? You're going to click yes. First thing we want to do, go to system, check that. That's all fine. That's all fine. Yes. You can click all that. That's fine. That's fine. I usually undo floppy, move hard, and there you, or no, optical. Okay. Processor, give it how many cores you want. I will explain that more. I'm going to give this one 2, even though it's kind of overkill for Kali. Display, you can pump this all the way up. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Already got your storage. We're going to come back to this. Let's look at network for a minute. You have to choose your network adapter. So you can leave it as NAT, and I'm not going to go through each one and explain what they mean, but the one I will show you what it means is host only adapter. And what that does is that connects you directly to your network. So your host computer can communicate with your virtual machine. So it's good and bad, but there's other ways around that. But right now we will leave this as NAT. Okay? Now let's go back to storage. Remember the ISO? We're going to put that here. We're going to click here, go over here, click down, and you'll see there's already some there that I've used before. We're going to do choose disk file. And we're going to choose Kali. Open. Okay. Now let's spin it up. Just double click it. There we go. And so now we can install Kali Linux in a VirtualBox. So this is like a brand new computer. So this screen that you're seeing, this is your computer. This is like a laptop, a desktop, whatever. It just does not have the hardware. It exists on top of your computer. So let's go ahead and do a quick startup. Regular graphical install. Okay. And actually, I'll stop the video right now. I will do the install just so you guys can show you. I don't want to show you how to do a Linux install right now because we're going to do that later. That's going to be on another video. Okay, so we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. So this is it. As you can see, we now have a login screen. Okay, sorry. It's taking forever to remember my password. It takes a long to install. Regardless, here we go. We have an entire operating system here. And you can ignore that. That's just because of the size of the window. See? Open a terminal. Run commands. ls. Okay, we won't do that because I don't want you guys to have my IP address. But yeah, this is an actual computer. Okay? So later or next video will be about how to set up a virtual machine exactly. So we will go through an install of Kali because we will be using Kali because we have this. We have this book, Security Testing with Raspberry Pi. We're going to be using this book, all right? Security Testing with the Raspberry Pi. This book is awesome. It has a lot of good projects, and this is good if you want to get into security and if you want to learn more about just technology in general, but mainly security. And to go with this, so we're going to do a couple giveaways. We're not going to do this one yet because I want to get you guys' feet wet with all the regular techie stuff. But we're going to do checkpoint giveaways. So the first giveaway will be for this. This is a Raspberry Pi, okay? This is a computer. This is a whole computer right here, and it's the charger for it. All you need is an HDMI cable and keyboard, and you plug this in, and you get a whole Linux computer. All right. How the giveaway will work. So the first competition will be, let's get to 100 subscribers. So if you want to be entered in the contest, this is what you have to do. You have to make sure A, you subscribe to my page. B, you subscribe or you follow me on Instagram. And C, tag friends. 1, 2, 3, whatever. So you get 5 entries for doing all those. So it's either you get 5 entries or you don't get any, right? But any extra people that you do, tag will get you an extra entry, right? So let's say you subscribe, you follow, and you tag one person. That's 5 entries. Don't ask me why it's 5. But then if you tag another person, you get 6 entries and 7 entries, so on and so on. So that's how we're going to do that. So once we do get to 100 subscribers on YouTube, I will pick a winner and I will send this out to you. We have a lot of other things that we're going to be giving away, including this book. What's so special about this book? Well, you must know, the author of the book, Cyberarms, actually signed it. So yeah, so we're going to give this book away too, but that would be a different contest. We also have a Synology hard drive enclosure, like the NAS, and I also have an Edge router that I want to give away. You guys can have it. Take it. I have too much stuff here. All right? Cool. Well, that is all. We are done. Thanks for following. Again, remember, subscribe, and yay, competition. All right, cool. Peace, y'all.